Hi, everyone, and welcome to day one of our Faster Way 5-day Gut and Butt program. I am so thrilled to have you here. My name is Amanda Tress. I'm the founder and CEO of the Faster Way.
I'm Alex, and I am the Wellness Director for Faster Way.
Okay, so this is called the 5-day Gut and Butt program. And although we are going to be doing some core bonus circuits in addition to booty bonus circuits, we also want to do a deep dive on gut health as we go through this week because gut health, it really is so key. It's so vital to overall health and wellness. But it's become a bit of a trendy topic or phrase. So, first and foremost, Alex, I want you to define this phrase gut health. What does it mean when we even discuss this particular topic?
Yeah, people talk about it so much, Amanda. It's all over social media.
Yeah.
Seeing people talk about gut health. It's important for your brain, and of course, motility for you to go to the bathroom. But it's actually more simple than you think it is. So if you go, I used to do a gut test for my patients, Amanda, and it's a stool test, and we used to do it all the time in the office. And what that test does, it tells me about your gut microbiome. This is the word of the day, the microbiome. What is the difference between the good bacteria and the bad bacteria in a gut? And the test tells you about what's going on, more of that, less of that. So we used to look at that test and say, hey, take this probiotic, or take something else, or take a antibiotic. So the future of medicine as it stands today with AI and everything is we're going to be looking at patterns of gut microbiome. We're not going to be looking at individual bacteria because what happens a lot of times in practice, and a lot of people don't know this, you go to the doctor and they do the test for you that I'm telling you, and they prescribe a probiotic for you, sometimes some drops, oregano oil, sometimes an antibiotic, and you come back and you say, well, I have all my symptoms back again.
Oh,
And the problem is exactly that, because those things are so target to specific types of bacteria, but your microbiome is so complex that basically there's only one thing that actually works, Amanda. Whole food nutrition.
oh, okay.
Oh,
We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about how to resolve gut health dysregulation. I want to share a personal experience when I was first a trainer. So I started training in college and then was a trainer post college as well in the gym. I remember certain days that I would be absolutely doubled over in pain at the gym 5:30 p.m. at night training clients, and they're going, what is happening to you? And I, even though I hadn't had any babies at the time, I would look 7 months pregnant because of the bloating that I was experiencing. Now, at the time, I was kind of buying into the biggest loser mentality that Subway was a good
oh,
choice for my lunchtime meal. I remember having Quaker Oats chewy bars, Yoplait low-fat yogurts, hot pockets or lean pockets. At the time, I was definitely into fitness, the fitness side of training, but not necessarily the nutrition side. And truly, like I was just doubled over. Just it almost, I would describe it as it felt like someone was sticking knives in my intestines, and I had horrendous gut health
yeah.
and all the symptoms of gut
And
dysregulation.
you're my classic patient, actually. The younger population too that gets in the office and they're like, no, I'm fine, but my belly hurts, or I have a lot of bloating, but I always had a lot of bloating. It's never normal to have a lot of bloating. We know this today in science. Every time you feel like that, or you're like, okay, I don't have the pain, Alex, I don't have IBS, but I just have bloating. It's kind of always there, and I have a lot of gas. Not normal, not normal. What we know today is when we run a test for you and we see that you have the type of bacteria that produces more methane, which is the gas, now we know that that type of bacteria actually lowers your serotonin, decreases motility, and it decreases your immune system. It's fascinating because what we know now is that your immune system, the neutrophils, the cells in your body, in your blood, have receptors for serotonin. It has receptors for dopamine. And those things, a lot of times they come from your gut or your kidneys or your pancreas. So it is super important to know that anytime that you have bloating, it's not comfortable, but it's not good for you in the long run. So yes, you might say to yourself, well, no, I don't have IBS. I don't have ulcerative colitis. I don't have celiac disease, but I just have this little bit of bloating. And the thing is, Amanda, a lot of the practitioners, we try to say, well, the research shows that we need to give you lactobacillus, or we need to give you a probiotic with Bifidium, or we need to give you prebiotics. And all of those things are fine and they will help. But at the end of the day, if you're doing what a college student is doing, eating all the processed foods, and you take the probiotic, that's not going to help.
Yeah.
Because your gut bacteria is absolutely huge. Just so you know, the human body is 43% bacteria.
Wow.
We have almost half of the amount of bacteria than we have in cells. So we are very, very complex humans, very complex creatures. So it's a very simplistic way to think about in terms of just a probiotic. I usually tell my patients, if you are willing to give up what causes the dysbiosis, meaning what causes your gut to feel uncomfortable. And some people even feel like I have a headache every time I'm bloated. If you're willing to give up the sugar drinks, the processed foods, then you're already winning.
Wow. So you're talking about eliminating instead of adding all these different probiotics. When I was in my 20s, I went to the doctor because of the discomfort, and I was tested for celiac. And I distinctly remember sitting in the doctor's office, and he says, Amanda, you didn't test positive for celiac. I go, okay, well, what's going on then? And he said, well, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't have celiac, you're fine.
Yeah.
And I knew deep down, like, it was not normal to be bloated, and I couldn't keep living like that. Like, genuinely, truly, I was like, this is just awful. And so I went on my own journey of determining to eliminate certain foods. So it's, again, addition by subtraction.
Yeah.
But let's talk through just very, very specifically the most common reasons for this gut dysregulation. And then we're going to share the solves. And thankfully, luckily, if you are in the 5-day gut and butt and you have this guide, there are going to be some secrets inside that you're going to be able to implement and improve your gut health, which again is going to empower you to burn belly fat, increase energy, have a better immune system. So what are the most common reasons that you see in regard to why people have a dysregulation of their gut?
Yes. From my experience, from my point of view, it's the American style of life. Meaning, this is a whole concept. I practice holistic medicine, and to me, it is the whole thing. So when people say to me, I have a sugary something, so I can't, I have exercise. I do exercise, but I have my candy just so I can feel like I eat everything. So that's the problem, because the cause of gut issues is exactly the sugary drinks, the diet, just too much sugar and carbohydrates, to refined carbohydrates, but also the lack of activity. So we know that most people, they just sit in the car, they drive to work, they sit at work, they have very little activity, which is no good for the gut. You just don't have enough gut motility. You don't, you have an issue with your insulin. Your insulin spikes but never goes down because you're so sedentary. And then now you have things in your gut just sitting there. You have bad bacteria sitting in your gut. And you're not changing the diet, and you having the donuts, and you eating all those things all day. So that's really the cause. So this is why in the doctor's office, it's so difficult to fix the gut, because if we can, we'll give you something. But if you don't help me to help you to change your lifestyle with movement, sleeping better, addressing your stress, and mainly changing your diet, it's going to be very difficult for that probiotic to help you.
So you are saying that the primary culprit, but also the primary solve when it comes to improving gut health, is that diet, or what we call it, the FAST whole food nutrition. And again, you are in luck if you're going, okay, I hear you, Alex, I am bloated. I'm unable to burn fat around my midsection. I have this or that issue. I'm getting sick all the time. I'm tired, blah, blah, blah. My hair is falling out.
Right.
We want to improve your gut health. And the very first step is to follow a whole food nutrition food log, which you can do with us through your Gut and Butt guide. We want you to follow our meal plan to a T. I will be following the meal plan perfectly exactly as I go through this week. I love these mini programs because it empowers me to feel leaner and more energized. I get rid of all of that bloating. So look right here in your guide. You're going to find a beautiful meal plan with recipes. We have a grocery list. We want you to follow this meal plan alongside us as you go through the next 5 days. Let's talk a little bit about beverages. Okay. You mentioned sugary drinks, maybe diet sodas. You've mentioned alcohol. How is this so detrimental? Because many times, we do have clients and they come and they say, we want to follow the meal plan and the food guide. But Alex, what about my evening wine and tequila?
Right.
What are the thoughts about that? So talk with us a little bit about that.
So I have a mantra that I say in the office, and I say to this, just give me some time. If you can follow my diet, if you can follow the faster way, and if you can just avoid the tequila, the wine, because that's alcohol, which means it's sugar. If you can avoid that long enough, what is that going to cause? It's going to cause the healing of the gut.
Yeah.
So now you will be more resilient.
Yeah.
All I'm asking you to do is to give up that temporarily so you create less inflammation. That's the other thing that we're actually finding out, Amanda, with the gut microbiome. It's not so much the microbiome will make you feel better. It's actually the other way around. We have to, from external sources, make better for the whole body environment so the good bacteria can grow. So once you do that and you eliminate the alcohol, the sugary drinks, then you actually allow your body to have the proper pH. You allow your body to have less inflammation, less C-reactive protein. So everything, the good bacteria can grow and makes you feel better. So when people say to me, I am no longer bloated and I feel better, I used to think it was because they're just not bloated. I mean, you don't feel good when you're bloated. Now I understand it's because your serotonin improves, your dopamine improves. That's why you feel better, because your inflammation improves. It goes down. So your brain have a much better environment to think and do all the things that you like. And eventually you're going to become more resilient. And then you're going to say, Alex, can I have my wine? I'm going to say yes, because you are resilient.
Oh, interesting. So really what we're talking about is a reset and the opportunity for your gut to heal. But then we do maybe have a little bit more wiggle room, which I think is true in my life. I created the faster rate of fat loss, was able to resolve my gut health issues, balance my hormones, conceive babies naturally. I now have 5 kids. And also I was able to feel a little bit more wiggle room with the strategies, the foundational strategies that we implement in Fast Way, to where now on Saturdays I have a treat and I enjoy it without any guilt, but it doesn't make me bloated. And so that's really interesting, because in the past I would have a donut or some pie or some pizza and immediately I would feel bloated. It was almost like that rain barrel effect, where it was the accumulation of gluten and processed food in my body. But that's a really good thing to know. You said, just give me time.
Just give me time.
And 5 days is a really good jump start. Not sure that it's enough. We want you to continue on, most of you will, into our 6-week faster way to fat loss program, where you'll continue with the momentum and feel better and better. Whole food nutrition.
Yes.
That is key number 1.
Yes.
You want to improve your gut health. You want to increase energy. You want to say, oh my goodness, I'm happier.
Yes.
Overall. My immune system is better as we look forward to the holidays and winter. We want you to implement whole food nutrition. But another strategy that we implement in the faster way, which I believe has a very positive impact on gut health, is intermittent fasting. So let's talk a little bit about how this can heal your gut and resolve some of the bloating and some of the other issues we've discussed.
Oh, Amanda, I cannot tell you. This is a conversation that I have with my clients in the office all the time. You have to give your body some time to heal, right? It's the same way I'm telling you to eliminate certain things. I'm telling you to just don't eat for a small amount of time. I'm not asking too much. But if you think about it, you're already not eating at nighttime, right? You're sleeping, you're not eating for several hours. So let's say you don't have breakfast, or you just, have dinner a little bit sooner. That's what we call intermittent fasting. So you just eat less during those hours. So let's say a 16-hour fast, for example. It's just an an example. It could be less, could be 12 hours, but let's say 16 hours, for example. What happens is the beauty of the body. You allow your body to get in homeostasis. What does that mean? Everything just falls in balance. Your insulin drops, but also you're not constantly hitting your gut with food. You're allowing the cells to recover. And also something else happens that we know in our wellness industry is the body eats up what we call autophagy. The body, when it's not eating, constantly eating, it allows the cells to eat up the junk, meaning the cells get old, right? We know we get old. So where does it go? So all the other cells allows that junk from inside of the cell to get out. And some of the other cells we call macrophages, they go in and they eat all the junk and they kind of like recycle all the bad parts into good parts. So what does that do? That improves your immune system and you have tons of energy because now we're recycling all these parts and you're going to have new cells, which is amazing. So, but that only happens if you do some fasting, Amanda. Oh, if you keep eating all the time, every hour of the day with all kinds of snacks, you just don't feel good. And this is why in medicine, in my office, sometimes it's so hard to get people to feel better. People with autoimmune disease, I recommend them to do some fasting all the time because they have this excess of cells that are attacking your own body. And we need to regulate the immune system. In order to regulate the immune system, we need to recycle some parts. And this is one of the strategies that I use and so many people are using because it actually works.
Okay, this is called the Faster Way 5-day gut and butt challenge. Okay, faster way. So fasting is going to be one of the foundational components that we want you to try and test. Intermittent fasting is not a diet. I want to be really clear about this. Intermittent fasting is simply an eating schedule. And I'm going to give you an example of an intermittent fasting protocol that I want you to try and test as you go through the next 5 days. And you just got me so hyped up and so jazzed about fasting and all of the benefits. So here's what I most often do. I break my fast or have my breakfast meal around 11 o'clock or noon. Okay, I'm not breaking my fast at 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning like I used to. I'm breaking my fast at 11 or noon with a whole food meal. I'm having some eggs. I'm having some chicken. I'm having some leafy greens. I'm having a really beautiful meal based around whole food nutrition. And then I'm continuing on throughout my day. I have a dinner with my family, all 5 kids and my husband around 6:30 or 7. And at that point, I am now finished eating for the day. I go to bed. I wake up the next morning. I get the kids out the door. I get ready for work. And by 7 a.m., I've already completed 12 hours of a 16-hour fast. I personally follow a 16-8 protocol. I want you to test this. I want you to try it. And I understand it can be intimidating because we have been taught for decades that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, where in fact that is not based in research or science. It is simply a marketing mantra that was created by Kellogg's, by General Mills, by whoever the cereal company was in the 70s, that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And I used to buy into this. I had mini wheats because I thought wheat and whole grain was a good idea since the government told me that with the food guide pyramid. But ultimately, eventually, when I started skipping those sugary cereals or those processed food breakfast meals and focusing on whole food nutrition and also giving my body, as we've mentioned, a little bit longer to heal, I started decreasing bloat, burning fat around my midsection once and for all, increasing energy, boosting immune system. Intermittent fasting is a key component of the Faster Way Gut and Butt Challenge, and we want you to try it alongside us. Okay, I love it. You love it. We see the benefits. So we've spoken about whole food nutrition and its importance. We've spoken a little bit about intermittent fasting. I want to touch on exercise, and then I'm going to tee up tomorrow's training because we're going to go into depth on exercise and even show some bonus core moves that will empower you to strengthen your core and burn some belly fat. But let's talk about why exercise is actually important as well for gut health.
Yes, it's It's amazing. I just feel like science is evolving so fast and it will even more. The things that we kind of knew a long time ago, Amanda, when people would say, I start doing the faster way and I feel so much better, I don't know. I think it's the exercise, but I don't know why I feel so much better. I'm just going to the bathroom better. It must be the diet. Now I understand what's going on here. Okay, that was like a few years ago. It was a thing that we discovered, something that called butyrate. So certain bacteria in your gut makes butyrate, and butyrate it's very protective to your colonocytes, meaning to your colon. So when people would say to me, I have a long history of colon cancer in my family, Alex, I would think of butyrate. Well, let's take a supplement. It might help you. It also helps people to go to the bathroom. But the research is showing that exercise, physical activity, changes the gut microbiome, and it actually makes one of the bacteria grow a little bit more, which is specifically the bacteria that makes butyrate. So it's fascinating because now the exercise that you do, it's not just because yes, you want to improve your muscle mass, you want to have more energy, but it's actually protecting your immune system. I
Interesting.
think it's the breakthrough in science that few people know this, but that's what we see in the petri dish. That's what we see in experiments in rats and humans. And I used to have a big problem with this because I had to find a good supplement with butyrate, and I could never find a good supplement. So now I understand that's actually the physical activity that causes these bacteria to grow. So you just have the right combination here, which is the movement, the proper movement that you're going to be doing, not too much.
Right.
Because that's the other thing that research shows. Way too much exercise can increase your C-reactive protein, which means you have more inflammation, and now the good bacteria doesn't grow as much. So when people tell me that they do the faster way and they're like, yeah, I feel like my numbers went down, and I test and they did, it's because it's not too much exercise. That's also the key here.
Yes.
So it's fascinating. So you're helping your gut by lower inflammation, improving your immune system. Now you have better gut motility, you have better muscle mass, and your gut is going down.
Oh my goodness. I am so jazzed. You are blowing our minds. Okay, this is really cool. Tomorrow, we are going to go more into depth regarding exercise and the science behind the perfect prescription or amount of exercise for us. Because many times we have clients who come in and they're doing too much. And like you said, there is a law of diminishing return. We also have a little bonus segment tomorrow with some core moves that you are going to love. They are fun and effective. This has been extremely informative. Thank you so much, Alex. And I want each and every one of you to know that there is hope for you. Okay, some of you are listening to this training and you're like, yeah. I've tried everything. I've tried eating healthy.
Yeah.
I've tried exercising. I've tried this crash diet. I've tried that program and nothing worked for me. There is hope for you in the Faster Way. It starts right here with the Faster Way 5-day gut and butt program. You are going to thrive. I want you to trust the process. I want you to stay positive and optimistic. It's going to be such a fun week. Many times people come in and it feels like opposite day because a lot of what we train and teach is different. It's opposite from what you've heard for so many years. You've been told, eat less, exercise more. That's the way to lose weight. Where we know that's actually not the case. It's not a sustainable way to burn fat and maintain energy and an optimal metabolism. So we want you to stick with us. There is hope for you. You are in the right place. Bye, everyone.